Hey, Nikki Brown here, no matter where you are and no matter what part of the world you're in. I hope that you're having a good day. I just got some fries from Popeyes. I just had a taste for some seasoned fries. So, I want to thank you for watching, right? And thank you for all those who subscribe, like, comment, donate, and all the things, right? I really appreciate you. I know one of my biggest supporters is Wanda, and she has a business as well. So go ahead and check her out on TikTok. I appreciate my supporters, right? And I support so many people, and I have always been a supportive person, right? Over the years. I've had people in my life growing up who didn't like it. Like, they think it's stupid, they think it's naive. And I say the opposite, right? What's the purpose of claiming to be a good person when genuinely deep down you're doing rotten things to people and around people? Like, to me, that's not good. Especially if you tell somebody what your ambitions are, your goals are, they will plant seeds of doubt in your mind, right? Instead of being encouraging and supportive. And they will only realize that it was probably a mistake if something happens to them, their children, their grandchildren, or someone else that they're really close to, and it's not working out for them. But then a lot of times they'll just tell them to do that person to do something just as spiteful and vindictive. Because people don't want to see you eat. They don't want to feel like you can or will do better than them. So in my mind, again, they don't want you to eat. They just want you to do just enough to barely be able to get by. And they're okay with that, because then that makes them feel validated, or that makes them feel important. Because perhaps, as Dr. Frances Cress Welsing said, they didn't get enough lap time growing up. And many of us didn't get enough lap time, but we still don't want to be spiteful or vindictive, or we don't have that jealous, envious spirit or energy around us or about us. We're okay if other people do well. Why wouldn't we be okay if someone else does well? What someone else is doing has nothing to do with me. And so I look forward to, and I feel like I experience this much more in the South than I do in the North. I feel like, and I left the North when I was 28 years old, right? I feel like people were much more helpful. Oh, what do you want to do? I can help you get there. I can help you be successful. This is the path that you need to take. These are the steps that you need to take. Let me help you do this. Let me help you do that. Take this course. Go here. Go there. But it seems that in the South, the companies I've worked for, because I have a good work ethic, oh, you're just wanting to be a people pleaser. I've been this way all my life. What the hell are you talking about? Because I'm pleasant and helpful? I treat people the way that I would like to be treated. That does not mean that I'm being stupid or naive. I am well aware that most of society does not operate that way. I don't choose to be that way on purpose. I enjoy being helpful. I enjoy being supportive. I'm very passionate about this, and I feel myself getting a little bit excited, so I just decided to eat a fry. Right? Because I'm not mad. And people always assume that you have an attitude or that you're mad. It's not even about that. Because really and truly, I don't care about how other people behave. That's their karma, right? That's something they'll get back. And people get mad even at that when you say that. Especially people if they don't believe in it. Oh, well, I don't believe in it. It doesn't matter if you don't believe in it. There are certain laws in the universe that exist, like the law of cause and effect, right? That's one of the laws. The law of, it's not just the law of attraction, although people say they don't believe in that either because they take it as blame or guilt. These are pessimistic mindsets that people are taught to believe or think so that they aren't accountable and responsible for good behavior. Right? So it's like, oh, well, if something happened to me, you're not going to tell me that it was my fault or I was to blame for it. And again, it's not about that. Right? And you have to read these laws and understand them in order to really know how they applies. You can't just read books like The Art of War or How to Win Friends and Influence People and just do the deceptive things that, it tells you in the book. Right? And that's a lot of times what people focus on, being, that crab in the barrel that's pulling the other crab down. But if you talk to someone who has the zodiac sign of Cancer, they say, oh no, we're trying to get ourselves to the top so that we can pull somebody else up. But everybody else sees it the opposite way. And a lot of people, they're just mean-spirited. And they don't see anything wrong with it because majority of society operates this way. So it's like, oh, well, if they can do it, I might as well do it too. Like if it's a woman is in a relationship or a man is in a relationship and the person cheats, well, if this person cheats, I might as well do it too. Instead of leaving that situation that does not serve a good purpose, it's like making the snowball bigger. It's like making the situation worse. This is not healing. Retaliation or an eye for an eye, that's not healing. That doesn't help you heal. That doesn't help make the situation better. It actually makes the situation worse because now you're involving other people. Again, instead of distancing yourself from that person that actually hurt you. It's like, now I'm going to hurt this person back. Or I don't care what this person thinks. I'm just going to stay for the kids, which again, the kids see this behavior. So again, you're now involving other people. So this again makes the situation worse. Everyone has narcissistic traits, right? But some may have 1 or 2, and there are some people who have 10, right? And everything in between. These behaviors are not good. Especially if you're a healed person and you've been working on your healing journey. It's like you really have to navigate this thing that they call life in a way that serves a good purpose, but still satisfies your soul, satisfies the righteous being that you are or want to become. And people think that you can't see if I don't tell you something about myself and all of a sudden you know something about me and you come to me and you say it, that means you've been digging, you've been fishing. Why? Why do you care? And at the same time, it's like, I don't care what people think about me. But if it's somebody who's in a position of power, they will try to use that against you because now they see you as competition. Because again, if you're somebody who does not stroke someone's ego or validate them or put them on a pedestal because of a man appointed title, God didn't give them this title. And, God is different for everybody, right? The word God, I don't really like to use the word God because I understand the meaning of it in gematria or etymology. But for sake of this video, because that's what most people have an understanding of, whether you see it as your higher self or something outside of yourself, right? There's just a certain way that you're supposed to operate. And when you're around these types of people, it's very challenging to deal with people who are low vibrational. They don't want to elevate spiritually. They just want to step on people's neck to get to where they need to go. And as I've said a bunch of times, self-preservation is the first law of nature. So I get it. People want to preserve their own lifestyle, their own livelihood, or whatever that looks like to them. Whether it be having a 5-6 bedroom house and a bunch of cars in the driveway, or just a modest home in a car that they know is going to get them from A to B. Again, it looks different for everybody. But again, for some people, they don't care if you eat. They don't care if you can pay your bills. If they feel like you're competition, they will do whatever they feel that they can do or need to do to get you out of that situation. It's really sad. It's really unfortunate, especially when some of these people are the same nationality as you. Although it's not about that, right? But at the same time, we wonder why, if all of us aren't doing well, we're not doing well. And so people think, oh, I've arrived, I've made it because I have this and I have that and I've done this and I've done that. And again, it's not even about that. And so, like, even how we have these nurses and all these other professionals, now the threat that their degree basically will not mean anything. Now they're starting to wake up to those who have already been in that situation, right? Some of us who have degrees have already basically been told, oh, your degree doesn't mean anything. Although when I was in the 80s, or in the 70s, it was like, you have to get at least a college degree in order to have a decent paying job, right? And so for those of us who accomplish that, and it's like, oh, well, now the market is oversaturated with people who have bachelor's degrees, so you have to go higher. And then once you go higher, it's like, oh, well, we don't want to pay you for the fact that you went higher. Or you make me intimidated because you went higher. So I'm gonna make you feel bad, or I'm gonna just, try to belittle you, or make you feel less than, or plant seeds of doubt in your mind so that you don't continue to be ambitious or be successful within this organization that I've already been in, for 5 years or however many years. Even 1 year longer. Hell, I've even been in a situation where it was just 3 months. And the only reason I didn't start at that 3-month mark is because they've put a hiring freeze on. But it was a brand new, it was basically a startup. This was a new building. And so everybody was basically new. And they, were waiting on some things to happen. So they needed to put a hiring freeze on. So basically my application was put on hold and I started 3 months later. And so it's like, oh, I've been here longer than you. Again, even 3 months. people have these superiority complex that, you know, I'm more worthy or I'm more deserving because I've been here longer. They're not putting in that merit or skill. They don't have a good work ethic. They come to work late all the time. And if you're someone who's the opposite of that, it's like, oh, again, you're an overachiever, or you're trying to be a people pleaser, or why are you working so hard? Those are those little seeds of doubt, because again, nobody wants to see you as potentially being their boss later on down the line. Although you may have the work experience, the work ethic, the merit, the skill, and whether you have the time in or you don't have the time in, people will still do their best to try to sabotage you and prevent you from moving forward. So what do we need to do? We need to continue to stay doing our affirmations. Abraham Hicks is good for this, saying that no matter what's going on, continue to do what you need to do for yourself, but not in the same malicious way that people are doing it. Again, saying things like everything always works out well for me, just something that simple. If you have to repeat it 1,000 times a day when you're going through something, if you have to do your deep breathing so that you always remain calm, emotionally intelligent, because again, this is what's going on a lot of times. You're more emotionally intelligent than the people who are in these positions, and they can see that, and they don't like it, because it makes them feel insecure. It makes them feel intimidated, because again, you're not validating them, you don't really need them, and they feel some kind of way. And again, even if you tell them what their ambitions are, they don't see that as, oh, this is how I can help this person. They see that as, oh, this person is now my competition. So what do I need to do to make them no longer be my competition? So I just felt like I really wanted to share that thought. My fries are cold now. They're kind of warm. But that's basically the thought I needed to share. Don't tell people what your ambitions are. Even if it's somebody who's been, at a company for 30 years and they're about to retire, they will still potentially hate on you. Because again, I've had that happen as well. The lady, and as a matter of fact, the lady retired the following year. But she was so horrible. Because, I told her what I would like to do. And they always try to downplay you. Oh, well, I wasn't able to do that. You had to do this first and you had to do that first. Where there are other people, clearly, who probably didn't do those things. And they still got to where they are. Maybe it's the exception and not to the rule. But again, they won't even help you to take that first step. Oh, well, do this first because that's what I did. They want you to do what they did. Even though you don't have to, and they know they can help you get to a different position, they refuse to. And you could be in one of the entry-level positions, but they'll say, oh, just do another one. Although, again, there are people who may have been hired off the street who aren't doing that. And this doesn't apply for all companies, but again, I've experienced what I'm suggesting several times. So I now see clearly how people operate. And it's really sad. And it's usually your people who are the same nationality as you. So, I'm done. I want to eat my fries. I love y'all as always. I apologize for being gone for quite some time. But again, I kept getting an error message that the storage was full on both phones. And I think this started happening last Mercury retrograde. I bought an external hard drive to transfer. The transfer wasn't working. Again, during Mercury retrograde. So, I finally got it to go through. And so I was able to delete some videos. So I'll be able to record more videos. I'll be able to do some more Reiki healing. If you would like to see more Reiki healing videos, just let me know. And as always, I love y'all. Thank you for watching. Mwah.